What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn what brand salience is and 3 ways to increase it, so you can anchor your brand in the memory of your audience or grab their attention at the right time to influence that critical buying decision. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to build brands that go beyond the visuals using strategy, psychology, and creative thinking, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to fast track your results, make sure you grab the Pro Brand Strategy Blueprint. It's a free download and the link is in the description. Now, no doubt you've heard the terms brand recognition, brand awareness, and brand recall. Now, these are all very, very important factors, but when it comes to that buying decision, you better have some brand salience up your sleeve. So what is brand salience? Well, it's the extent with which your brand is either remembered or noticed within that buying decision. Now, there are a few really important factors within that sentence. First of all, within the buying decision. It is the buying decision that salience is really, really important. It's within that moment that your brand needs to be either remembered or noticed. And they are the 2 other really important factors, remembered or noticed. This is how you get your brand to be in the mix in the buying decision. It either has to be remembered, and that work is done early on within the brand through the brand experience, or noticed. It has to grab that attention within that buying decision. Now, when it comes to brand salience, typically with high brand salience, you're going to have a strong brand, and with low or no brand salience at all, you're going to have a weak brand. So obviously, it's really important to have brand salience and to work towards raising and growing that brand salience. But why exactly is brand salience important? Well, let's not overcomplicate things here. If you want to be in the mix within the buying decision, well then you have to be in the mind of your audience within that critical moment. Now, if your audience can't remember your brand within that moment, or you can't grab the attention of your audience within that moment, then essentially your brand doesn't exist. Now, if your brand doesn't exist in the mind of your audience within that buying decision, then it's going to be very, very difficult to grow that brand. Now, if on the other hand, you work towards developing an experience that your audience will remember come the buying decision, or you work towards grabbing that attention within the buying decision, then your chances for your brand being remembered or chosen within the buying decision moment have significantly increased. So getting that brand salience and raising that brand salience so your brand is considered within that moment is critically important. But what drives brand salience? Or in other words, what is going to influence your audience to remember or notice your brand within that critical moment? Well, Byron Sharp, a professor of marketing science in South Australia, has done some extensive research on this, and he's come up with 2 core drivers of brand salience. Now, those 2 core drivers are the quantity of memory structures and the quality of memory structures. So let's take a look at the quantity of memory structures first. The quantity of memory structures refers to the amount of cues you give your audience to remember your brand in a specific way. Now, if you think of Dollar Shave Club as an example, now Dollar Shave Club broke onto the scene with that iconic advertisement, and that campaign really did catapult them to that success. And anybody thinking of Dollar Shave Club will think of that ad campaign, and that sits in the memory. Now, another thing that you might think about is their iconic tagline, shave time, shave money. So there are 2 cues from the Dollar Shave Club, and that is the quantity of cues that they are giving their audience. So that is the quantity of memory structures that they are giving their audience. Now, the quality of the memory structure refers to how well that memory sticks in your mind and how you're able to retrace that memory to a specific image. So the Dollar Shave Club have this funny personality. It's this jester archetype personality that they use in their messaging. And they also have that iconic tagline, shave time, shave money. When you think of Dollar Shave Club, you think of saving time and saving money. So that is the quality structure of those memories. Now, if the Dollar Shave Club has zeroed in on you as their target market, and you are in fact in the market for a reasonably priced blade, well then the Dollar Shave Club will work hard to put multiple high quality memory structures in front of you so that you remember their brand within the buying decision, and that ultimately increases their chances of being adopted. So isn't brand salience and brand awareness the same thing? Well, no, brand awareness is all about putting your brand out into the market and making as many consumers aware of your brand as possible. But that doesn't mean that they're going to remember your brand within the buying decision. Getting them to remember your brand within that buying decision is all about those buyer considerations. What exactly are they considering within that buying decision? When you know that, you can zero in on that. That's when you can start to influence your salience, and that's when they can start to remember your brand within that moment. So that is the critical difference between salience and awareness. It's within that moment. What cues are you giving them within that buying decision moment? So now that you know what brand salience is, I want to give you 3 ways that you can use to increase yours. Number 1, leave an emotional imprint. Now, we've all heard that we buy on emotion and we justify with logic. So when it comes to brand salience and those considerations within the buying decision, it's really important that you have made an emotional connection there. If you've made an emotional connection, and we know that consumers buy based on emotion, then your salience is going to be up. The chances of them buying based on the emotional connection that you have made is going to significantly increase the chances that they will adopt your brand over a brand that they haven't made an emotional connection with. Number 2, design the brand experience. Now, it's one thing to know the customer journey, but it's another thing entirely to design a brand experience. When you know step by step how your audience becomes a customer, then you can design each and every touch point and design the experience around each and every touch point to make a lasting impression on them. If they can remember that lasting impression, then they're going to be much more likely to remember your brand in that buying decision. And number 3, avoid safety and be bold. Now, too many brands today take the safe option. They look into the market, they look at the brands that are successful, and they try to follow the beaten path. They try to replicate what's been done well, but that is the opposite of what branding is about. Branding is about standing out, being bold, being different. So identify what's happening within your market. What is it that everybody is doing the same? Zero in on that and then do the complete opposite. Be bold, go in the other direction. If everybody within your market is using that corporate blue, use a neon pink or a neon yellow. Just pick a different direction to where your competitors are going and be bold so you stand out come time that buying decision. Now, as I've mentioned, brand salience is not just about awareness. It's about making as many neural connections as possible so that you appeal to the buying decision considerations of your consumer, of your customer. If you deliver them with quantity and quality, you will start to show up when it matters. Now, of course, growing salience is very, very important, but it's just the first step of the brand equity model. If you want to learn all 4 steps and how to use the brand equity model, well then this video will help you out. Until next time, brand like a master, and I'll see you in the next video.